with a decode, receive the data which is available in the form of bytes, converted into in the form of str data. Decode function converts the bytes data in the form of what? Str data. That str data, if we want, we can convert it back to what? Convert it back to integer type, float type, next is bool type, any type you can convert it. Depends on our requirement. Well, and during sending time also, this is receiving request and sending the response to the server, to the client. Both the sides we can use it. In which side I can use it? Server side I can use a send function to give the response. I can use send function at client side also to send the request. RECV also same thing. Both of them used at the both client and server side. We'll see the program now. And next is called, we'll go for what? Connect function, which is used at strictly at client side. Strictly at client side we can use it. Socket object, client socket object dot connect of DNS, IP address, and then port number. So this function is used for obtaining connection from server side program at client side program. So this is what we are going to, what we discussed in the last session. Now it is the time to see, to go for the examples on it. So come on students, open your notebook. Open your notebook now. You write down the question now. I'm going to say, start your program now. Write a Python program. Write a Python program. Write a Python program which will implement the following. 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 Write down program A. First program. Program A you need to write. The server side program. Write a server side program. You write like that. Write a server side program. SSP. Write a server side program in such a way that it must accept a number from client side program, CSP. I will write CSP. It must accept a number from CSP, square it, and gives a response, gives a result as response to CSP. Give response as result, gives result as response to CSP. Gives result as response to CSP. Next, write B program. Next, second, this is called server side program, student. This is called server side program. This is called program A. Because networking means two programs are available over there. Next one I am writing. Write a CSP, write a client side program in such a way that it must read a number from keyboard, and send it to SSP, stands for server side program. Send it to server side program and obtains and must obtain, and it must obtain, and it means what? CSP must obtain its square from SSP, from SSP, from SSP, sorry, this is SSP. This is called a program A. This is called a program B. This is two programs are there. Two programs are there. Right, students. So how to do this? How to do these things? How we can make this kind of things to be available here? Okay. So how to make it available in our program? That is an important. For that, one small wait, I will take my presentation part to download that. There is one small this thing is there. Okay. Now for this presentation purpose, some small software I took it. Yeah. So what is happening here? I'm going to take up here. So what is the meaning here now? If it is your network, pure networking part, that is nothing but if you go to your lab of the lab, if you go to the lab, what we do, this is your lab. There is a definitely, you know that this is called a server mission. This is called a server mission. This is called a server mission. Here you are having lot of softwares will be installed. I'm talking purely about your computer science lab. There you will sit and you will type SSP program there, ssp.py you will type. And you will, other student will sit on CSP, another mission they will sit, they will type csp.py. And you will type the CSP related code, because already physical network has done. Physical network has done. And during this, the conversation will be going on. So the client has to specify the DNS of this computer, DNS of this computer, or IP address of this computer you need to say. And you know, every machine will contain an IP address. When the hardware engineer has established the network of your lab, they will be given IP address for every system. Every system they will give the IP address. By going to this machine, if you know a little bit about networking word, you can type it in the command prompt of the SSP, ipconfig, you can specify ipconfig. It will show the IP address of that PC, which is available in the network. That IP address, you can write it in the client side place for getting the connection time. I hope, my dear students, you are understanding. So during the connecting time, instead of giving 127.0.0.1, you can go for it. So I hope you are understanding what I am talking about it. Are you following, students? Are you understanding this word? Now I am going to take it. Since we are having only one mission is there, since we are having only one mission is there, I will open two DOS prompts. I will open two DOS prompts. Two DOS prompts are nothing but two equal missions. Two equal missions. Two equal missions we are taking. Okay. So two equal missions we are taking. So how do you go about it? Let me write the program and I will show you how to execute. So on spot, how to execute that program. Now I'm going to take first the server side program. I will write it. So I will write this program A. This is called a program A. I'm going to take it. How to write that program I'm going to take. So Python here. So I'm going to take it. This program A. So I'm going to take this result here. This is comes under program A now. Now, how do you write it? Now I'm going to give it square. I'm giving one file name square server dot py. Square server dot py. What are the things? Sonu, I told you already. Already question is here. You see, question is here. Write a Python program. Here I wrote it already. Write a Python program. Write a Python program for implementing the following. For implementing the following. Already written for implementing the following. So one is called what? Server side program. and one more is called client side program. Already I typed it here. I am on the discussion of that questions only. Okay. So this is the question I already posted once again in the program part. What should I do now? I say square server.py. I will import exactly like a steps. Steps I will follow. Strictly I will follow the steps. Import the socket module. Import the socket module. Yes. Now I will go to what is the next step here. Every server side program must run at certain port number. How it is done? Create an object of socket. So S is equal to socket dot socket of yesterday's class we created it. What is this S? Socket object, which I want to make it a server side program because already we made our property a server side program. So what should I do? It has to run at certain port number and DNS. So I told in the last class, S dot bind of, you are supposed to pass the local host, or you can pass 127.0.0.1 and you can pass your port number. 888 I am passing it. You pass your vehicle number. You pass your vehicle number. Any number you pass which is more than, my dear students, more than you pass it, 4 digits you pass it, 4-digit number you try to pass it. I hope you are following me. Let me move to the further. I'll pass the number as called what 5885 I am writing. Right? So some number you pass it. So I will pass some number. Right? 8558 I am passing. Something like this I am passing. Some number I passed it. Okay. Moreover, after this is nothing but what? Making the step number this one. Every server side program must run at certain DNS and port number. If I used at this side a connect function now, that will become client student. That will become client. Okay. Now, every server side program must listen. You must configure every server side program must configure in such a way that to how many client side program it gives response. To how many client side programs it gives response. Right? Praveen Kumar, my dear student, you can take 8,000. It's not like that much. Just I am saying that it is one recommendation. Why? Because it may have some port number which is already there in the internet world. That's why I'm saying take a number which an advice. That's all. Which is an advice. So which is going to be something like this. I am taking. Okay, take certain number which is a 4-digit number. After 8,000 you take it. That is my advice. Okay, Praveen Kumar. Now I will say, because of this, what is happening? I will say it is binded as what? Server socket program, server side program. Next I will do yes.listen. Yes.listen of what? 2 I am writing. It indicates 2 clients it can communicate at a time. That means if you go to a program, this is called your SSP, server side program. The 2 people are sitting on 2 terminals can send requests. And that too, dear students, you know one thing, when the clients are making request, if server side program is communicating with this client side, the other client is made request, it will be made wait until the current request will be completed. That's why the communication of this kind of networking application is half duplex application. Maybe you know English word of this, the networking terminology again. Half duplex communication applications. It's like a walkie-talkie applications. So walkie-talkie applications means if one person is talking, other person has to listen. After completion of those people, only other person has to communicate. That's called a walkie-talkie applications. So listen of 2. These 3 things making your server side program ready. So I'll write a sentence here. I'm writing sentence here. SSP is ready. SSP is ready. Is ready to accept any CSP request. Client side program request is ready to accept any CSP request. And after that, lots of code I will write it. Lots of code I will write it. Some lines of code I will write it. Let me run here. Let me try to run this, and I would like to ask one important logics here. I will go to this place and I'll create one small folder, students. I'll say here I'm writing 6 p.m. network. 6 p.m. network I will say, or network. I say here network 6 p.m. I'm writing because this part I'm writing. In G colon I'm writing G colon. There I'm writing first program is called what, server square server dot py. Okay, save it. Now I'll go to the command prompt. How to run this I'm going to show you, students. Any kind of application which we are developing in the internet world, you are supposed to run from the browser. But this library socket module makes you to run it command prompts only. There is also one limitation of it. That's why this is outdated nowadays in many of the applications. In Java side, almost networking has outdated. It's totally outdated. Even in C#.NET, .NET side also it was outdated. So go to our place, network 6 p.m. And there we have a program that is called square server.py. You try to run it. There are two DOS prompts I will open it. One more DOS prompt I will open, student. Windows or one more DOS prompt I will open it. Two DOS prompts I am opening. I am showing how to run the server side program. So here also I am writing G colon. So I am writing here network 6 p.m. And there I am writing, you see, these are the two DOS prompts are there. Students, observe it. One is called what? This is acting as a server side prompt. This is called a server side prompt. And this is acting as a client side prompt, student. Client side, this is called client side. So two DOS prompts I am opening. Indirectly speaking, two missions indirectly. If it is your computer science lab, two missions it is. What client is sending? It will go to this place, do the steps, execute it, and server will give the response. So we must see in two places regarding the outputs. So I'm using the first DOS prompt to run my server side program. py, my server side program I'm running. So server square.py. What it will give you? Socket is created, binding with this number, making the configuration to listen to clients, and I'm giving this message. Right? Observe the output of it. You are getting the message as what? SSP is ready to accept any client request, CSP request. That means it is giving a message, and immediately you see, students, it is stopped also. Because DOS prompt is coming again means it is stopped. Only it shows its readiness, and immediately it was stopped, students. Immediately it was stopped. That indicates it is not made ready as purely server-side program. Server-side program means what? It has to run 24/7. It has to run 24/7. It has to run. So how to make the server-side program to run continuously? Can anybody tell the logic now? Now I'm going to tell how to make our server-side program to run continuously. Now that is the logic I am expecting. Can anybody say how to make the server-side program to run continuously? That is my code today. Come on, students. How do you write it? Good. So some student, Manjunath, very good. Yes. Harshita, good. I will write it now. While true, good. While true, I will write it. While true, pass. Farooq, very good. Shekhar, good. While true, I will say pass. What is the meaning of it? Suppose if you write while true, now you make it to run. After finishing the line number 7, it enters into the while loop. That indicates while true means what? Continuously running until we exit. Now you run this code. Go to the place and see now. You run it. Now see the difference between previous output and now. You see, now it is continuously running. Even if we come back after 2 days also, if the power is on, the continuously this statement is available like this only. Now cursor is showing that it is blinking without stopping it. This is called making the server side program ready. Are you understanding? Are you understanding this logic? How to make my server side program to wait forever? How to make the server side program to wait forever? By writing while true. Students in online, this is a continuous important point, while true, because the while true point we already understand in the beginning days itself. Well, let us enter into the next part of it. Okay, enter inside the client side. Now CSP is sending the request. Once the CSP is sending the request, server side program should do what steps you see. Every server side program must accept the client side program request. Assume that client has sent a request. What it has to do? It has to accept it. What is the module name for accepting, which we discussed it? We need to go for accept. What is the function name? Socket object dot accept it. It will get the client socket object and its address also will be coming. How to write it here? CS client socket comma CA client address is equal to some variable name you use it, student. You use your own objects, variable names. I will write s dot accept. S dot accept. Okay. S dot accept. Accept your client side program request by using server side socket. S dot accept. Accepting the total client data in the form of its own object, CS. And it's a CA from where that is coming. So where is my data present in CS or CA na? Where is my client data present in CS or CA na? Tell me the answer. Even yesterday's class also we discussed it. All of you answer me. Is my client data present in CS or CA? It is present in CS. Right. It is present in client side program request. Must process, must read and process client side program request. How to do that now? How to do that now? We have to read that. How to read it now? I will go for it. See, still it is ready to accept it. Go to the program. How do you do that now? CS dot recv. Yesterday's class module name also I will show you. What is the function name? recv with a decode. Client socket object dot recv, which is sending the data in the form of packets, which is in the form of minimum size 1024. I told yesterday you can double it 2048. You can still double it 4096. Like that you can go on doubling it. So I can write that function. RECV, I will write it. RECV. Of I'm writing 1024 bytes. Dot. Because the data will be given by default in which format? Bytes format. I need to get it into our Python related environment understandable format. For that, I am going to say what? Decode. Nothing but getting into our understanding format. So I'm going to say it is going to get what data? C data. Client data will come. Client data will come. Yesterday's thing. You see module name. STR data is equal to this part you need to say. Okay. Now after that, what is the type of C data? Yesterday's class we said. Come on, everybody. What is the type of C data here? STR type. Yeah, very good. STR type. So to do the square of it, what is my program? SSP, write an SSP in such a way that it must accept a number from CSP, square it, and gives result to what? Gives result as response to CSP. This is an STR. This is an STR. So no, yesterday you have to say this is fixed ma. So no, I told yesterday's class 1024 is called what? Bytes. This is a bytes. You know, I hope so. You can write 2048. You can still go for doubling it. That is called 4096. You can write. This is called your data sizes. I hope you are understanding it. So no, you have to write this bytes sizes. Now CS data is of str. Now I need to convert it into what? Int type I will convert it. How do you convert it? N is equal to int of C data I will say. Int of C data I will write it. Client side data. Client side data I will write it. So I will write it client side data. So I'm writing C data, I'm writing it. Int of C data. String data converted into what? Typecasting we are doing it. Good. Now I will do what? This process comes under accepting client data, accepting client data and reading the data also. What should I do? Processing logic is required. Processing logic is required. What is the processing logic required here? Processing logic I am going to say. Process. What request? CSP request I am going to process. CSP request I am going to process. What is my next step you see? Next step in the steps. Every server-side program, read it and you have to process it also. How do you do that? Process. This is called reading. This is called what? Reading. Reading. What data? Client data. I'm writing here. Reading CSP data. CSP requested data. Process CSP request. RES is equal to N star star 2, squaring of it. Processing logic. And it gives response. SSP must give. SSP must give response. SSP must give response to CSP. CSP. See the steps? Every server-side program must give response to the client-side program request. How to give it? There is a function called what here? There is a function called send. Send with encode. That is nothing but I am sending my data, which is available with us, sending in the form of which type? STR type we are going to send it. That data, what you are sending, to convert into STR and de-encode it, convert into bytes data and send it to what? Client-side object once again. So how do you do that? You do like this. Where is the client-side object? Yes, which is already got it. Through that only we will send it back. CS.send off. CS.send off. What should I send it? RES I should not send as it is. Because send function will take always what? Bytes data. RES is send function will always takes what? Bytes data. So bytes data is going to be converted by the function called encode function. Encode function is present into STR object. So my data is available in the form of integer. That I have to convert it into what type? STR type. On the STR type, we'll apply encode. So that encode function will convert into bytes. So what should I write it here? If you follow me, STR of RES, converting that STR of RES, dot what? Yes. Come on, dot what? I should write what? What function? Come on, spell out, write down in the chart window. Encode. Yes, Williams, very good. So, encode. I am writing encode of. Encode of. I am writing it. That's all. Now, this data is sending to the client side. Moreover, for your better understanding, I will write it. What is that? Value of client. For your better understanding, value of client at server is equal to, I am writing dot format of what, N I am writing. N. That is nothing but C data. I can write either C data or N I can write it. C data is called STR format and N is called what? Integer format. You can write it. Anyone you can write it. That I am processing it. This is comes under what? A code at which side? This is called step number 1. This is called step number 1. This is called step number 2. Step number 3. Step number 4. Step number 5. Step number 5. This is called reading the data and processing it. And step number 5 or step number 6. What is how many steps I written? Step number 6 is the last. This is a step number 6. All the 6 steps are written perfectly here. This is comes under what? Square server.py. Square server.py. Now I need to make it to run. So already we are in the running process. I will say Control C to terminate. Keyboard interrupt, Control C, cancel it. Now I need to run freshly because I added the code now. So processing code is added. Now I will run freshly. Now it is fresh code is there. Now I need to write. Which program I need to write next? Which program I will write next? Come on, everybody. See my problem statement here. This is my problem statement. This is called what? Server side program. CSP I need to write it. Client side code I will write it. This program I am going to copy. Now I am going to take this code. So let's follow me. New and others and go for this and need to write it. So I'm going to give you simple comment over there. Now I want to write it. How I'm writing now, you see, I'm going to take up. Tell me what should I do now? I would like to write it. Say here, server, that is nothing but what? File name I am giving student. This previous program is called what? Square server.py and square client.py. Because square value is accepted by the client. That's why I'm giving square client, square server, square client. Both of them I'm giving it. Okay. What should I do now? What should I do over there? Write the code. Import. Client side steps are already there. Client side steps are already there. Same to same. Import socket module. Import socket. Import socket. Right? Next after that, what should I do? Every client side program must get the connection from server side program. No, connection important. Farooq, connection is important. Every client side program must get the connection from server side program. What should I do? For getting that, I already told you there is a connect function is required. Connect function. How do you do that? Create a socket object first. Socket of. Socket object is created. Earlier also I created socket here. Earlier also I created socket. But this socket is made to run at certain port number configured to listen how many clients. But here I am writing yes dot connect. Yes dot connect. There is a lot of difference. Yes dot bind and listen is called server side. Yes dot connect is called client side. I hope you are understanding the difference. I need to pass it. Same thing. Localhost. It is there in my current machine. And we are having 8558 is my port number. What you have given it. What you have given it. This is my port number. I have given it. This is what I am writing it. Same thing you need to write it. Okay. This is the port number I am giving. That time I will write it. Print CSP got connection. CSP got a connection from where? CSP got connection from SSP. I will write shortcut SSP, server side program. Okay. After getting the connection, what should I do? What should I do? What is this program? Write a CSP program in such a way that it read a number from keyboard, send it to SSP, and CSP must obtain its square from SSP. So I need to read the data from the keyboard. Get a number from where? Keyboard. Get a number from keyboard. So n is equal to int of input of. It's not necessary to send in the form of int. Why? Because already we are sending in the form of what? We are converting into int server side. You send in the form of str only. It's better also. Input of enter a number for getting its square. So I'm writing for getting its square. Right? Then after that, we are writing in n is equal to input of enter a number for getting its square. Okay, my number is ready. Send that n as a request. See that. Steps you see. Every server side program must send a request to the server side program. Yes. I will send it. How do you do this now? I will write it. N you need to send it. N is nothing but what? Here string only. How do you send it? Yes dot send off. I am using send function in both the sides of client and server. N is called which type? str type. What is the function I have to use it? Those who understand well, what should I write it? N dot. What should I write it? Can anybody can tell me? What should I write it quickly? Students, what should I write it? Very good. Encode. Encode. My dear students, encode. Encoding is nothing but decode means what? Converting into our understanding format. I am sending now. Some of the students used decode. My dear students, sending time. Encode means what? Converted into ununderstandable format. Decoding means what? Getting into our own format. You know, normal, even in English also you can understand. Encoding means converting into ununderstandable format. Decoding means what? Getting into our own format, understandable format. Encode means understandable format to bytes format is called encode. The name itself says. Then this is called a bytes format. From bytes format to this format, decode. D means down. Encode means up. I hope students you are getting it. Those who said decode, some students said, I hope you are understanding it. Now, once you send it, it will go to where? Server side program. It will accept it, processing it, and they are sending it. Sending means what I am using here also, encode. Once this is executed, you will get the result back. What should I do? Receive what? Receive the result. Receive the result. From where? SSP. How do you receive it? How do you receive it, student? Yes dot. What is the function name? RECV of 1024 dot. I am receiving. This RECV is going to give you the data in the form of bytes. What should I do? Encode or decode? Is it encode or decode? Decode off. I hope you are understanding. Decode off. As which is going to get the result. Which is going to get the result. Now I'm going to write it. Print off. Print off. I'm writing for your better understanding like this. Square of like this is equal to like this. Dot format of. I'm writing n comma n comma result. I'm writing result n comma result. I'm writing. Are you able to understand, students? N comma result. This is called what? End of the square client. So save this code. Save this code. Is these two programs are understandable now? Is these two programs are understandable now? Please respond, students. Right. So now I will write, now I will run this code. Already, this is the program ready. This is the program ready, which is available here. Square server.py. SSP is ready to accept any CSP request. Now I'm going to take already one DOS prompt is ready. I made one DOS prompt ready. So you must see here. I'm going to write it, two things here. What is that now? Py. What is my program name now? What is my program name? Square client. Square client.py. Square client.py. See carefully. So first step, when I print this, you must see with carefully. Here one eye is there. Here another eye is required. You need to see with the two things here. So you must have two eyes on the both the sides. Carefully observe. Here I am getting CSP got a connection from SSP. Enter a number for getting its square. I am entering some 7. I am entering 7. The moment when I enter 7, it will go from this place. Which side? The moment when I enter 7, 7 will be sending here, printing here. Client data at server 7, and immediately you will get the response. The value of square of 7 is equal to, square of 7 is equal to 49 you will get it from the server. You just see this now. Value at a server, value at client server. And when I'm working with another DOS prompt, you see this one. Square of 7 is equal to 49. I hope you are understanding about this. I hope you are understanding about this mechanism. One more time you run it. One more time you run it. Enter the value. Minus some 15. Minus 15. See that value at what? Server is equal to 15. The square of minus 15 is equal to 225. Students in online, and you say something like what you know, say something like 25, you'll get the result like this. You can use exceptions also. You can use exceptions also. Suppose if I enter the value called KV123, you will be getting an error. What is that exception is coming? You will be getting an exception. How do you address the type of exception, students? How do you get that exception? I will go for writing the code. Wait for a few minutes. If I say 5, it is going to come like this. And next, to avoid the type of things, I'll go to my server side program. I will write where is the exception is coming. Line number 12. KV125 cannot convert into integer. That time I will write it what, students? Try. I am writing try, and I will write, the message. What is that? What is that exception? Can you tell me? Except which exception, students? Which exception? Good. Value error. Value error. I will write it. What is the message I want to send it to the client? What is the message I want to send to the client? Earlier, we used to write print in normal programming of Python. Don't enter like this, we used to say. But that message is printed at the server side. That message I have to send to the client. CS.send-off. CS.send-off. I need to say the message. What is that message? Don't enter. Don't enter. Our regular words. ALNUMs, ALNUMs, STRs, and symbols. I say symbols. So I'm writing symbols. What is that is called? STR data. Dot. I'm writing encode. Very good. Dwarkesh. Encode of. Why? Because this is called STR data. I'm going to say encode. I'm sending this data back. That means I'm making my server-side program little robust. Make your application, try to run it. Because server-side program continuously running. Why it is continuously running, students? Anybody can say? Why it is continuously running? Because we are using while true kind of concept. So today I want to terminate it. Control C I set. Even if you say Control C also, it is not terminating. That time, my dear students, even if you say CTRL plus C also, it is not closing. You do what? Go to this Windows command prompt is there now. You close this because I did not write any exit or something over there. Close it and then open another DOS prompt. Same thing, another DOS prompt with the same mechanism. So I will say something like network 6 p.m. So network 6 p.m. You say like this, you try to follow. Two things are there. Now I'm going to say two DOS prompts are there. This is one DOS prompt and above one I'm going to take it. py. What is my program? Square server dot.py. See that program is ready to run it. Now you try to say here. Now say this now. Here you run it. SSP got connection from CSP got connection from where? SSP. Something number is entering 19. You see 19 coming over there. You run it once again here. I am saying something like KV123. See the message here. What is coming? What is coming? Here I am going to say. Here I am going to say square of KV123. Don't enter alpha NUMs and STRs and symbols. So, Srinivas Reddy, my dear student, because DOS prompt, it is a browser-based IDE, my dear student. If you look it into the browser-based, I already told you, Jupyter Notebook is one of the browser-based IDE. Browser-based IDE means definitely it is supporting internally HTML kind of code is required. You cannot run this type of things in that place, because socket module is supporting only command based. That is already I told in the class. So what I'm trying to say is, you require two DOS prompts. Even now, two DOS prompts I'm showing here because we don't have two machines. You are supposed to do it on two machines. In one place, you type one program, you type in another program, two things. That time you type it in one Jupyter notebook, you type it into one Jupyter notebook, you type it into another Jupyter notebook, you type it. When you sit on the two machines in the lab, here, two Jupyter notebooks are not there in the same context. Because when you open the Jupyter notebook, it is going to show you browser-based IP address will be coming. It is not in the same place. I hope you understood. PyCharm also same. PyCharm also same. Because two DOS prompts are not going to be shown. Because in the class I made it clear, it is the command-based applications only. Okay, I hope you understood. Let me continue it. So, and this is not what we created, it is already outdated. And we are just covering it because it is used in some telecommunication process. Fine. Now, if I go for entering any of the other symbols, it is going to be like this. I hope you are understanding. Exceptions also we can write inside of it. When you go to web applications, when you write a Django based applications, I can run in PyCharm. So one more example, open the notebook and write down that. Write a Python program, which will implement Manjunath, exception request ni SSP ki pampada, sir. You are saying that. Exception request ni SSP ki pampada, sir. See, ma, what you are saying to me, you are sending here. You need to understand, ma, this is what I shown you, right? When you are going to say this data, when you are entering something like this, wrong data you are entering. This wrong data received at which site? It's so easy. Why this difficulty? When it is coming to this place, when you are accepting it, dollar symbol is unable to convert into integer type. That integer type cannot convert it. So what is an exception is coming? The exception is coming here is like this. The exception which is coming here is like this. What is happening? Value error. This message we are sending to the client. Manjunath, I hope you got it. So coming to the point back, one more example. Write a Python program. Okay, Manjunath, take care. Next term, go for one more program, you write it. Write a Python program, which will implement the following. Now, what you will do there? Write down. First program, you write it. Write a server-side program. In such a way that it should receive messages. And send the messages to the client. and send the responses to the client. In the bracket, chart with client. Chart with client. Chart with client. With the dynamic messages. With the dynamic messages. Next, B program you write. B program, that is called server side program. Same, write a B program, write a Python 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 client program you write a Python client program in such a way that, in such a way that, in such a way that it can send messages, it can send messages, it can send messages, it can send messages and receive the messages, and receive the messages, and receive the messages from server, from server. In the bracket you write, in the bracket you write chart with server, chart with server, chart with server. So there are two programs. That is nothing but chart with client and chart with server. That is called charting with client and server. That program, if we combine it, chart with client and server. Williams, exactly perfect. Williams, exactly perfect. While true in both the sides, we will use it and we will send the messages. Ashwin, can we get a response with the help of API? My dear student, this is API only we are using now. API is a general terminology. We are using libraries, modules in the Python. Modules in the Python, we are using it. So this program we are using decode function, this get function, socket function, these are all called API related only now. API is nothing but what? Collection of modules. Right? So here, Melrose, what is B? B, where is a B, ma? B is nothing but program AB. Like Melrose, A first program and B is second program. Like this. Like this. I hope you are following it. This is one program. This is another program. This is called a SSP, server side program. This is a client side program. Two programs I am writing. Like this I am writing. I hope you got it. So coming to the program now. So next program I am going to write it. So Shoaib Khan, simple ma. I told you na, this is called I already typed ma. This is the things like the next program is already dictated now, student. So write an SSP in such a way that it should send receive the messages. It should receive the messages and send messages to client, to CSP. I said chart with the client, chart with client. Next is called what? Same thing. I wrote it there. Write CSP in such a way that it should receive messages, it should send the messages and receive the messages from CSP, from SSP. Chart with server. This is called program B. Another program this is. Okay, Shoaib. Good. So now I will go for moving further. So now I'm going to say, Shoaib, are you okay? Now I'll go to the program now. So next, nothing but chart server. So I'm going to say chart server.py. So I'm going to take it. What is the library here? I will take import. Already we have a steps already. Import a socket. I'll define it. Socket object. I already explained yesterday's class. I already explained. Here module is there. Socket object. That socket object we are making two sides. One is client side and one more is server side. This is for making socket as server side. And this is one more time making a socket as client side. Yesterday's library this is. S.connect client side socket it is. S.bind and listen is called what? Bind and listen is called what? Server side. So coming to the point back, import socket. Now I'm making server now. How do you write it? Same type of thing. Socket dot socket off. Socket is a bidirectional communication between two endpoints. Yesterday's class concept it is two endpoints. Now I am making one endpoint as server. Bind off. Bind off. I can write here 127.0.0.1. If it is there in the some IP address which is running, you can write that IP address of the machine 100%. Since I am running in the local machine, I have to write this number. So some number I will write it 3600. You write your own number, provided it should not have any predefined port numbers. Okay. Now this is called listen of some 2 or 3 or 4, whatever it is. This is called making my S as server side object of socket. Next. This made you to understand. This is made you to understand print of SSP is ready to receive. SSP is ready to receive. SSP is ready to receive the request from CSP. Right? Done. SSP is ready to receive the request from CSP. Fine. So, Sushma, you're asking, what is line number 5? You are asking Sushma. Yesterday's class, I told that once you make your socket object as a server side object, you have to make that. I wrote it yesterday. Used for making the server side program to configure in such a way that to how many clients the program gives response. You have to write it. If I don't write this, client cannot receive the responses from the server. Configuring to how many clients it can give the responses. SS.listen of 3. My server socket can give the responses to 3. That is the point which I said in the yesterday's libraries point. Okay. I hope Sushma, you got it. So listen of 2. SSP is ready to receive the request from SSP. Okay, ma? Right, good. So give the response when I call your name and saying something, na? Give the response. Because I'm calling your name and I'm talking. Not saying what you are understanding or getting. If you don't give response, I don't understand. And next time if you ask, when I call your name and giving the answer for by calling your name 2 to 3 times, if you don't give it, next time I may not be responding to that. So once if I call your name and give that, and you need to say whether you understand or not. That is an important way. So when you ask a doubt, I am responding now. So you need to give the response to that, whether you understand or not. Otherwise, if the next doubt will come, we cannot. So SSP is ready to receive the request from CSP. Next, I make my server-side program to be continuously to run. That is a constant logic. While true, done. What it is called? While true. Now, making your server-side program continuously ready. What should I do over there? Get the request accepting. CS comma CA. That is nothing but you can write your own point. CS, client socket, SOC, client socket, comma, client address, CADDR is equal to yes dot accept. We are accepting the client request by using server socket because I made it bind and then listen. The S is made as what? Server socket, accepting. Now I will say receive the data, CS data, client side data, client socket data is equal to say something like how to receive it, client socket object dot recv. From the same object I will use it. Dot recv. It is client server programming networking is nothing but just like a conversation between two friends. 1024 dot decode I will write it. Decode of. I'm writing because it is going to give you by default in the form of what? Bytes. I'm decoding into what type? Into what type? STR type. Now I will just print at my side. It's like a charting kind of thing. I will write one small output. Student message, I will write it. Student MSG message. I'll just write for the sake of some appearance purpose. I will write. I say there. Here I want to print the message. What is that? Format of what is the data? CS data. Student message at server. Student message at server. This is the message I am writing, receiving at the server side. I am writing like this. Okay. This message is coming. Now we need to give the message back to the client also. For that, you get the data. How do you read the data from server side? You say SS data, server socket data is equal to, how do you read the data? Input of, what is the data I'm writing? Teacher message, teacher MSG. Teacher MSG. What is the teacher MSG I'm writing? Here I'm writing some message we are typing it. I will write like this. Okay. Teacher message. It is asking at the client server side. And I need to give this message to what? Client. How to give it? I'm going to give it. How do you give it? Client socket object dot send. Same previous program like send. Dot send of what? SS data. Dot encode. No need to convert it into string because by default it is called what? String only. SS data dot encode of. SS data dot encode of. It is going to be given like that. SS data dot encode of. I hope you are understanding this. Same as previous also. Square server SS dot CS. CS is not with a client socket dot send off. Same thing here also. Dot send off. That's it. This is at server side. Receiving the messages, sending the messages. Continuously it is going on doing. Save this code. I'm going to save it. Chart server.py. Chart server.py. Now I need to write what? I need to write it. One more client I will write it. Chart client.py I need to write it. Chart client.py. How to do this chart client.py? That is an important. So next program I am going to write it. So next program is new. I say others and I'll say Python here. Chart client. Chart client.py. There also same to same. But one small condition also we can take it. So I'm going to take it. Import. What is this now? Socket. Beginning itself, I will write what? While true. Because to make it continuous. So I will say here what? S is equal to socket dot socket. Next, what I will do? Connect it. S dot connect. What is the difference between S dot connect and S dot bind? S dot bind and S dot connect. What is the difference? S dot bind is which type of program? S dot bind is which type of program? SSP program, that is. Very good. Now, S dot connect is which side program? Client side program, CSP. So it's a simple indication. So I can write it 127.0.0.1. 127.0.0.1. Now I am writing there. What is the thing you have written? The same thing you need to write at the client side also. So 3600 we are writing. 3600 we are writing it. Right. Because of that we are getting the connection. Connection is established. Now you need to read the data. You need to get the data. How do you do that? CS data, client side data is equal to, you take your own variable, client data is equal to, you say, how do you do that message? How do you read the message? Input of, what is the message? Student message. Student message. You say this point and read the data. Okay. Then that data I need to send to the server. I need to send to the server. How do you send it? How do you send it? Yes dot send of CS data dot what we can do it? Encode we can write it. See student Williams, encode my dear student, not decode. So I hope you are understanding. Right. Saurav Patra, why do we write while true in client side also? Because I told Saurav, continuous charting between client and server. Saurav Patra, I hope you understand. Okay. Continuous charting between client and server. Okay, good. Okay, right. Responded. Nice. So yes dot send CS dot encode. Done. Next I will go for, I want to go for S dot send of CS data dot encode. That will be sent. Based on that message, server will receive that message printed at the student message at the server. Server also will send the message. Because we wrote it what? It is received it, printed the student message at the server side. Now this also will be getting at which side? Server is also sending the message to the client. So I want to write that. How do you do that? Receive the data from the server. How do you do that? S dot recv, I will write it. S dot recv of 1024 dot, I am writing here, decode of, I am getting here SS data. SS data is nothing but reply to the SCS data. I will write it. Print of, which message it is? Teacher message. Teacher message it is. Teacher message. MSC you are writing. Teacher message you are writing. Dot format of what you know? SS data. SS data. This is a continuous messages are going on. So SS data is written. Fine. You say here, save this program. Okay, student, missing this one. Okay, Williams. So it is written. So I'm writing here chart client dot py. Chart client dot py. Fine. Chart client dot py. So try to come to the execution part. Here I'm going to say it is already there. You just cancel it. Since it is not applicable with the control C, all of you students, control C is not possible. With this control C will not work out. You have to close on the Windows button. Right? Now you go for that. Now you go for this. This prompt is okay, let it be. Now I'm going to say one more button here. One more button here. Say this one. Windows command prompt again. So network 6 p.m. and there you type it. Listen carefully and try to understand. Two DOS prompts are nothing but two different machines. This application to enjoy very perfectly, you sit on one machine, which is you sit on one machine, you sit on another machine, another person. This person will type a square chart chart square you type it. This you type it as what? Chart client you type it. Two different machines. It just working like a Google chart without any kind of disturbance. And that too, it is called what? One-to-one communication only can be taken place. So I'm going to do PY. Our program name is called what here? Program name is called what? Chart server. First program I will run this. So see this now. Chart server. And this is ready. When it will be coming to other part of this, when client side request is coming, then it can run. Okay. Now I will run this. Another DOS prompt is there. Right. One more DOS prompt. You take care and then observe it. So PY chart client.py. So there is something is missing here. Something is missing. Some bracket closing or something. So in the client side, I just need to save this data. One more bracket. Now you save this and try to run it. Already server is ready. Now you say, write it. See that student message. Now I'm saying here, hello. So I'm going to say hello. There's a message. Hello, sir. Now I'm saying, see the message, which is going to the place of upper side window. Hello, sir is a message from student side is a client, which is going to at which side? This message is going to this place. And their response is given, it is coming to back to it. Okay. When you enter key, see that student message, hello, sir. And my cursor is running, blinking in the below window, bottom window. So I have to change my cursor to the above window. Definitely when I'm changing to above window, below window will be deactivated. Deactivated in the sense it is not visible. So I need to say this place. And I change it to my cursor to what? Chart server. So I'm writing here, hello student. Hello student. Now I am pressing window. You cannot see immediately this. When I press C, cursor is there here. It is activated now. That's why if you sit on two machines and if you type it, you'll get exactly like a Google chart. It is just like a WhatsApp chart. Now I am writing here, hello student. This is a message which is coming over there. Which place you see? This is a message. See student, hello student is coming from here. This is a message which is coming here. And then student message is active. Student message is active. Now, next, what is going to be done? So I'm going to write it. What is today? What is today lesson? What is today lesson? You are saying the message. It is going to that. What is today's lesson? And this teacher message is there. To make my cursor to go back, I have to click on this window. So now I'm writing today's lesson. Today's lesson is N network programming, N by W programming. So I'm writing this one. I will press enter key. I'll press enter key. You come to the below window. Today's lesson is network programming. Right? Now we can say one more message. Next, what lesson? Next, what lesson? If you say it is going to that next what lesson, teacher will say, teacher, this is a student message in the server side. And the teacher will say, Monday, I'm writing here, multi-threading. Next lesson, I will write it. Next lesson on Monday, multi-threading. If you press that, that will come here. Next lesson, Monday, multi-threading. Yes, Rajesh. You can do, my dear student. Only thing is, this is called command-based. It is a command-based. Only thing. We can do apps. This is called just like a charting app kind of thing. You can do it. You can do it, provided. See, your command prompt is not going to take any pictures here. Pictures cannot be done. To have the pictures, we need to go for what? Browser-based is required. Rajesh, I hope you understood. Next is called what? Understood. This is the conversation between multiple people. it goes on doing that. So here, even if you say control C, both of them, they are not going to terminate. Rajesh, are you getting it? So next, these are going to be command based only text kind of things can be taken place. Now, this is called one kind of charting application. If you sit on multiple machines and you can do it. Okay. If you go to HTML kind of thing, which is communicating with the server, and in browser, how they are going to communicate? In the form of what? Text messages, images, everything can be done. Yes, Rajesh. Now I'm going to say, this is one example. Next, one more last example with a database communication I want. With a database communication I want. Open the program now. Open your notes. Next example. Open the notes. Write down. Write a Python program. Write a Python program which will implement the following. Write a Python program which will implement the following. Which will implement the following. Write down. First program. First program you write it. First program you write it. Write a server-side program. Write a server-side program in such a way that write a server-side program in such a way that it must accept employee number. It must accept employee number. It must accept employee number from the client. It must accept employee number from the client and gives other details of the employee to the client, and gives other details of the employee to the client. It is nothing but a kind of three-tier application. This is a client-side program. Client-side program will send it to SSP, server-side program, number called 444. That 444 will be received by the server-side program. Server-side program will be communicating to what? Oracle database or MySQL database or whatever it is. There it is going to be a database. What is the number is coming? 444. I will apply the query and I'll get the details and I'll be sending those details to the client. Even the same thing we can write with the Django level also. Server side will write Python coding in the Django, and CSP is going to be an HTML form will come. HTML form will be entered the hall ticket number or employee number that will be sending to the server. Server will be communicating with the Oracle database and it will give you the details. In Django level, it is called as what? MVT architecture we follow. MVT, M means what here? Model. M stands for model, that is a database. Template is nothing but a server-side program, and view is nothing but a HTML form. This is a Django level. Next level to the networking, the browser-based, that is. Right. Write down client, next program, client-side program you write. That is one program. Next program, continuation to that. Write a client-side program. Write a client-side program in such a way that it should accept employee number. It should accept employee number. It should accept employee number. It should accept employee number, comma, send it to the server side program. Send it to the server side program. Send it to the server side program and gets other details of employee 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 and gets other details of employee. Right, students. Now I am writing the code. Now I am writing the code for it. It's also one important example. Now let's go to the one more example here. So I'm going to say Python here, writing. What is this code? EMP, something like data server dot py. EMP data server dot py. Fine. Like that, EMP data client dot py also I will write it. Right, students. How do you write it this? How do you write it now? I'm going to discuss. So carefully understand. Now I'm going to say import as usual. You know, import as usual. Yes, ma'am. Dattatreya Rao. Thank you, my dear student. So let us go for, I'll paste this code. I'll paste this program here. Okay. So one of the student is giving the question. For your understanding purpose, I'll paste the code. Right. Now, EMP server data, EMP import the socket. Import which module? Because I am writing PDBC code. Which one I will go for here? Come on, respond everybody. Which one I need to import here? Another thing along with this. Which module? Come on. Forget already. So CX underscore Oracle. CX underscore Oracle. Good. So most of them responded. So CX underscore Oracle, but slowly responded. CX underscore Oracle. Now write the code. What we are doing as usual. S is equal to socket dot socket. Socket dot socket. S dot bind off. S dot bind off. I'm writing here. Writing here. Localhost. I'm saying there. Number you pass it. Some 666 I passed it. Now S dot listen. S dot listen. If you don't write a listen, you will not get the responses from the server to the client. That you need to take care. And this is, I will write it. It's for your understanding only. I am writing SSP is ready to accept any CSP request. Ready to accept any CSP request. Okay. Now I will write it as usual, while true. While true, I will write it. While true means it is going to be infinitely, it is going to be ready to give the responses to the client. So I'll go for it as usual. One try block also I will write it because of saying multiple exceptions may be coming, database error, value error, such type of things. Try. I say CS comma CA. CS comma CA is equal to S dot accept. Constant step, students. Accept. So writing this CS comma CA is equal to S dot accept. Now, okay, you need to get the ENO, which is coming from the keyboard. From the client side, it is coming. CS dot accept, CS dot recv of 1024 dot decode of decode. So I got ENO. which is ready. That is only I want to get the data from the database. So now I will write what code here? PDBC code I will write it. Now PDBC code I will write it. Get the connection. Get the connection. CON is equal to, you already know that, CX underscore Oracle dot connect. Oracle dot connect. I say there, in my system, let me go to Oracle here once I am having. This is my system here. This is my home related system. I'm writing here, Scott here. So I'm entering Scott here. So password is called a tiger. I'm having password is called a tiger. Okay, Scott. So tiger I will enter. So I'm having, so what is that, Scott? Yeah. So enter this. It is connected. I have some spelling mistakes here, Scott. And then next is called a tiger. That you need to pass it. How do you pass it here? Need to say username Scott, and next is called a tiger. You know the syntax of that. We already completed that. I will say next, in this machine only database is also there. Localhost and a slash. What is the global name? Service ID. To find out that, you can find out. Select star from, you know, service ID, how to find out, I told in the class. Global underscore name, you need to write it. Here I am having in my system, in the home machine, I am having ORCL. ORCL you need to use. In a classroom, we used XE. Now I am using ORCL. ORCL. Because of this connection is established. Next, I need to get the cursor. CUR is equal to CON dot cursor of. CON dot cursor of. CUR is equal to CON dot cursor of. Now I need to execute. CUR dot execute of what query I need to apply? Which query I need to apply? Everybody must respond it, who has already done with the PDBC code, who are remembering it. CS dot execute. What I should get it? First of all, I'm having some small table also, whether it is there or not, you see. Select star from tab. If it is not there, any employee table is not there, you need to create it. Suppose I'm having something like a sal table is there. Sal table. Select star from what is the data is present in that, we will see. Select star from employee. Some data is available. Employee number, employee name, sal is there. Employee number, employee name, sal is there. 3 columns only available. Only 3 columns. It is a DRL statement. Select statement, I need to use it. So I will write it. So select star from which table? Employee table, where ENO is equal to ENO, because it's my column name is ENO here in the database side. Here ENO is equal to, I will write percentage D and percent of ENO, which I got it from the client side. Okay. I got it from the client side. Moreover, this ENO, I need to convert into integer type because it is going to be str data. I need to convert into that integer. How do you write it? Understand everybody? Here I am writing directly int. Did you understand this statement here? Did you understand this statement? Is it understandable? Respond, students. Everybody. Right. Good. Now we got it that we are converting into that str data. SCS.rec we give bytes. Bytes converted into what? STR. That STR I am converting into integer because my employee number in the database column is number type. Well, now I will be executing. Once you execute, your data is present into cursor object. From cursor object, how many functions are there to get the data? How many functions are there to get the data? 3 functions are available, which I said. One is called what? Fetch one, fetch many, fetch all. 3 functions are available. Fetch one, fetch many, fetch all. I will use fetch one. Fetch one, I will use it. Fetch one, I will use it. Record is equal to record is equal to cur dot fetch 1. Why I am using fetch 1? Because I am going to use it. One record is there. One record is there. If fetch many, multiple records are there. So we can use it. We already done that separate example and fetch 1, fetch many, fetch all with a different cases. So this record is there. Fetch 1 returns what? If record is there, it will give you tuple value. If record is not there, it will give you what? None. If you remember that, see that fetch 1 example. Fetch 1 will give you the tuple. Fetch 1 will give you the tuple. And fetch many will give you the list of tuples. And we are giving here what? Fetch 1, one record. That record may be a tuple, maybe record is called a none. That I'm going to check it. If record not equal to none, record is equal to none. For example, if no record is there, because of employee number not existing, fetch 1 will not give anything, none. That time I need to give the data to the client. CS dot send off, I will give what? Employee record does not exist. Employee record does not exist. Does not exist. Right? Else, what I will do next? What I will do next? Tuple is there. Tuple is not equal to none, definitely false. It comes to else part. What I should do? CS dot send off. What is my data? Record is what? Maybe list of tuples, maybe a tuple, maybe any kind of thing. Total data. I'm converting into which type? STR type. So STR of record. STR of record. Why I'm converting into STR of record? Because I have to use encode function. Encode of. For that, I'm converting the tuple into STR type. Dot encode of. I hope you are understanding. The tuple I'm converting into STR. Any type of data can be converted into STR. This is called related to else. Okay. And what is an exception chances are there to get this? First exception is coming. I will write it. Here I am saying except. What is the exception which is going to come? Value error. I'm going to write the same thing. CS dot send off. Don't enter. Same message. Don't enter STRs, comma symbols, and ALNUMs for ENOs. Dot encode of. I'm writing like this. In the case of value error. In the case of any error is coming, except I'm writing CX underscore Oracle dot database error as DB. Any Oracle related kind of query related errors. CS dot send, instead of writing PF print statement, we are sending to the client. So problem in that also we are giving to the client, problem in DB. Right? Now I am writing here DB, I am writing it. This is related to except blocks. This is called a server side program. Let me save it. .py. Go to the location. Going to say, here I'm going to this place. Now I'm going to take this. So network 6 p.m. Under that you save it. Under this you save it. EMP data server.py. Right. So coming to the point of it, Saurav, sir, user-friendly error messages also to be sent using encode function. That also I'm saying, ma. Encode function will not take any parameter, my dear student. Encode function will not take any parameters. Right, ma? Yeah, that is also correct. My dear student, correct. Dwarakesh, this is not comma. I will write plus. What is happening? Problem in DB is a string data. DB is also called string data. I will write what? If you want, you can convert it. STR of DB, you can say STR of DB. Strictly you are taking into DB. Dot encode I am writing. Encode I am writing. Why? Because this is a string data. This is a string data. Both string plus string is string, and we are going to say encode of. Dwarakesh, perfect. Perfect now. Okay, good. Now that is done. So, Saurav, so encode function cannot take any message, my dear student. That data you need to, str data dot encode you need to do. Saurav. So I will say this string message dot encode you need to write it. This is the syntax. You cannot write encode of the message, you cannot pass it. As an argument, you cannot pass it. This is a wrong syntax. Okay. So Praveen Kumar, you are asking, sir, why symbol plus? My dear student, it's a very basic level. Beginning we discussed na Python. Python is a string plus PROG. PROG is a string. String plus string is called what? String only. That is called Python programming. Praveen Kumar, are you understanding? Plus symbol is for what? Concatenation of two strings in this case. Praveen Kumar, are you okay? Right. Okay, Praveen Kumar. Good. Now let me move to the further. This is called what? Chart server. That is called, data, EMP data server. Now I need to write which program? Client side program also you need to write it. Yes, we saved it. CSP, we will write it. CSP. So one student has given that question to me. I will copy that. So next program I will write it. What is the next program I am writing? So I'm going to write it. So I'm going to say that program I will copy here. So let us move to the further discussion now. I'll say next program, others, and say Python here. Now I'm going to say this data. Now I will say here EMP data, client dot py, EMP client, EMP data client dot py. So I need to write the messages. So same thing I will take up now. What is the client side program? Easy, only accepting and doing. Import a socket. S is equal to socket dot socket of. Okay. S dot connect of you pass your server data. What is your server data here? Server side, what you passed it? You pass the same information. So I'm writing. So done. Take care about the brackets and done. Now that is nothing but connected. So print off what? CSP got common message, got a connection from SSP. We got it. Now I need to go for what? CSP got connection from SSP. Next I need to get it what? Get the input number. EMP NO is equal to input of. Now you are getting enter employee number. Enter employee number. Employee number you are entering. Okay. You are going to need not to convert into integer because we are already writing what? We are already writing the conversion process in the server side because we are converting it. Send the data in the string format. It is easy also for you. How do you do it now? Yes dot send off your EMP NO, you send it. Dot what? Encode you need to write it because EMP NO directly I am accepting in the string format. Once you send it, receive the data. Yes dot recv of 1024 of what? Decode. Decode you write it. That is going to get it what? Server data. That is EMP data is coming from the server. EMP data is coming from the server. Now you can print it. Some small line of control for your understanding. Now I'm writing what I'm writing here. Employee data I'm getting. So I will print that. Employee data I will print it. What is my data here? I'm going to say, come to the point of it. What is my EMP data? I'm just printing it. So end of that. So I'm going to get it. This is the data which I'm writing it. So you try to run this code. How I'll go for run this code now. Save this program and coming to this area, done. So I hope that Saurav Patra, you are asking in the if statement, you are asking, sir, if statement, why we did not use encode? My dear student, is it necessary to use encoder? Encode to use in which case? Sending time. I hope yesterday you are present or absent. I don't know whether you are there in that or not. So during sending time encode, during receiving time decode. That's it. Right? Coming to the point back. Here I am going to say, here I am sending time, you need to use encode. Receiving time, you need to use decode. So coming to the point back. Here I am going to write s.recv, s.recv dot like this. So here I hope here also okay. Line here also we need to use yes by my I forget that. You need to write what? Encode also you need to write. So every time you wherever you are sending the message, you need to use compulsory encode. Okay, right. Let us run this code. Client data is ready. Server data is ready. Go to your command prompts. You try to close it because I need to close it with the Windows closing button. Again, I need to close this now. I need to go for it. Run freshly by opening the command prompts. G colon, I'm writing here. I'm writing network 6 p.m. And this is one command prompt. Open another command prompt. I'm writing here. So GD network 6 p.m. So there you need to write it. There you need to write it. So I'm going to say here first server program py, our server program, I will take it. This is called what you know, emp data server.py. See this now, py done like this. So SSP is ready to accept any client request. Now go to the other place. Here I am writing py. I will go for it. Here I am taking other side emp data client.py. So coming to this place and see that CSP got connection from SSP. Enter the employee number. From this side employee number I am saying something like I am entering something like number 10 I am entering Manasa 6.8. 6.8. See students, this is my client side and this is server side, client side. 10 I am entering. See that details. 10 Manasa and 6.8. 10 Manasa 6.8. Now, to enter again one more kind of record to get it, say some 20 Shailaja 6.8. Next to enter something like 40 Sonali 12.4. These are all details are available at this site. 20 Sonali, etc. Now I will go to what? You know, I'll go to this place. Say this. You say 80. You say 80. Nabita, like this. You enter something. You say something like 1000 you enter. What is that? You say error. What is that? str object has no attribute called what? Some message is coming. Encode. Spelling mistake is there. Spelling mistake is there. You need to take care, students. What is the spelling mistake in the server side I did? Encode you need to write. Some spelling mistake. Because during that message, it is not giving that point. So now you run it. Now you run it. Exception came. Now you run it. Go to the client side. Now you say, run your code. Some 60 data, Sushanta is coming. Now you run it. Now you say 1000 you enter. 1000 you enter. See that employee record does not exist. Employee record does not exist. Yes, Madhwarakesh corrected. Okay. Now you enter something like 20, something like 80 ABC I entered. 80 ABC is entered. What are the messages coming? Employee data. Don't enter STR symbols and ALNUMs for numbers. ENOs. You enter some special symbol like this. You enter some special symbol like that. Same message is coming. Well, now you enter the number called 50. You enter the number called 50. Rutuja 6.7. So say 60, something like 50, 50. So 50 entered. That is called Rutuja. This is called our programs in networking. I hope students, this coding understandable to you. Students in the online, did you understand? You can use Williams. Continuously want to get it. Continuously, if you want to get it from client side also, you can write happily. Do you want to view other record? You know how to write while loop and all those things. Do you want to view another record like that? You can do that also. That's always already you know now. Already you know that. Yes. So I'll stop it and I'll send the notes to you people. HStack, VStack notes plus this networking programming code I will send you within few minutes. Right. Yes, Ashwin, I will give you NASCAM related number also for you. You can talk to that. Okay. I function also I will send you. I'll send you HStack, I function plus this networking programming, all the notes I will send you. Okay. Today I will send you all the things after a few minutes. Okay. Take care. And tomorrow class, offline, online, that will be continued in the regular working day. Tomorrow class concept is multi-threading. So I hope you know multi-threading is the topic which I'm going to enter into that. Don't miss the class. Thank you. Take care. All the best. Farooq, you can speak to me, my dear student. You can speak to me. Fine. Right, Farooq. Talk to me. Farooq raised a hand. I hope he is having something. Okay, students. Now tomorrow class, we will continue with the multi-threading in the class. Okay, take care.